I want to thank absolutely no one. So instead of thanking people, she goes off on people that she used to know, be friends with, or be associated with to some degree. Now, I coordinated some little interviews with some of the people involved in this, so let me play that for you right now, and then I'll just go over the rest, just reading it out. So did you know that Shannon had a script, original script that was longer than the one she presented online?
No. You mean like the document that she posted, or there was another one?
Yeah, that was like 91 or so pages. This one's like 112 pages? I want to thank absolutely no one. Tipster is a diseased hack who literally reached out to me for content that he disguised as an "I'm here if you need to talk." That much is obvious given how hard his dick got when he realized he could monetize my response to him privately. Why reach out in earnest feigning friendship when you can monetize your friend's downfall? Super appreciate how much thought you put into that though. Bet those views were worth it. Totally kidding. There's a reason everyone on YouTube surpasses you, and it's because your videos lack quality, insight, or anything worth commending. Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah, she really seems to have some negative opinions on my content, which, to be fair, my content is, I would go as far as to say it's kind of lazy, right? I just kind of live stream and I just clip up parts of my streams and stuff like that. So, I mean, if you feel like it's lazy, whatever, you're welcome to have that opinion. Yeah, as far as like, I don't know, my dick getting hard about like reaching out to her and like using like me reaching out to her to try and like, I don't know, be there for her. Like that was all for content. Like, no, that wasn't the case. When I reached out to her, offering to hear her out or be supportive of her, like I meant it. It wasn't for content. The only reason it became content is because the way she responded. She kind of snapped at me and made a bunch of claims that weren't true. So.
Yeah, it'd be different if like she was kind to you and she responded to, and then you posted it.
Yeah, then that would be like really shitty of me, right?
Yeah.
And we would, I wouldn't have posted it if that was the case. I would have did exactly what I said I was trying to do, which, hey, let me hear you out. You want someone to talk to, we can have a conversation, whether it's here on Instagram or you want to, hell, even pick up the phone and have a conversation. I would have did exactly what I said I was going to do. I mean, I'm pretty good about like respecting people's private conversations and DMs and stuff. The only reason it went public is because the way she responded. It seemed like over the top and ridiculous.
Thank you though for that post. If Creepshow can prove she didn't do this, I will apologize. I'm waiting. Letting me know that I was taking too long to prove that I never owned CP. I'm so sorry that me proving that Emily was slandering me took too long for you. I am sorry that I wasn't able to make this video on a fun little time frame for you so you could add it to your 10 upload a day schedule. That must have been so hard for you that I wasn't able to hire a PI and find all this information that proved my innocence in a day or two. I bet that really sucked that you just had to sit there getting comment after comment describing how you should kill yourself for things that you completely fabricated. Oh wait, that didn't happen to you. You just sat there and talked about it happening to me, your old pal Shannon. Weird.
I guess the first thing I'd like to address is the part where she talks about how she got harassed and stuff like that. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm not okay with that sort of thing. I don't know if that was really happening to her, if people were telling her to, kill herself or anything like that. Obviously, if that was happening, I would 100% disavow that. That's not okay. She talks about the message where I said if she can debunk this stuff and clear her name or whatever, that I would basically state such and apologize to her. And I actually screenshotted that tweet when I made that tweet and I sent it to her. So I'm assuming that's how she saw it. Obviously, that was the last DM conversation I had with her, was sending her that screenshot. But she says that I was impatient. I don't know where she gets that from, because I basically I made that tweet and I'm looking at the timestamp for the tweet right now. It was August 4th, 2021. And I'd never referenced it again. So I don't know why she makes it seem like I was being pushy to her.
I do not accept your apology. I will never accept your apology. You're a terrible fucking person who I supported, and I hope you fucking realize that money means a lot more to you than actually being friends with people and being decent. You say you're a journalist? Everything I showed is public. Emily literally changed her story in front of you and had things on her Instagram that actively showed her lies, but you were too much of a crybaby to find it. Did you even pay attention to what she was saying in her video, or were you just too excited for the dog pile? Your Twitter has you being called a journalist. Sure, man, I buy that.
there's a lot to unpack there. Like she references like me being more preoccupied with making money than being there for my friends and stuff. I don't know if people realize this. Maybe people kind of think of like the old days of YouTube, because I've been on YouTube since 2006. And like there was a time, like maybe even like 5 years ago, where a channel my size would make tons of money, right? They'd be loaded. That time's not anymore. I've actually been pretty transparent with the fact that like I don't make a ton of money on my channel. There's a reason why I have a day job, because I don't make enough money on my channel. So I don't know where she like gets this idea that I made like so much money off of like my channel, or more specifically this story, because like, I didn't really make that much money off of this. When I reached out to her, it was genuine. I literally wanted to like, I guess you could say, extend an olive branch. Someone like, I would imagine that not many people were willing to have a conversation with her. So I was being the one like, hey, you know what? Maybe other people weren't willing to talk to you, but here, I'll extend an olive branch and we can have a conversation. It wasn't about making money or anything like that. In fact, like, I don't think anybody could have ever predicted this story would get as big as it did, because nobody even like, when it was just the lolcow stuff, nobody knew that like Emily was going to come forward with her allegations and shit like that. Like nobody could have predicted that this story was going to get as big as it was going to get, as it was going to get.
Even bigger ups for not only sending people to harass my husband, who didn't fucking rape anyone and never stalked anyone in his goddamn life, as approved, but doing so yourself. I guess you're saying you harassed him. Did those couple of likes make you feel like a real man with a big boy brain and not a spineless little coward who cries online like a pussy? You're a champion for that one. So happy to have known someone who just gets his little shrimp cock hard for spreading false allegations. You're so fucking smart. Amber Heard would love you. Whoa.
I don't understand why she has such an obsession with my penis. Like, why is that? This is like, what, the second time in this document that she's commented on my cock? Like, I don't understand. But regarding like the shit about her husband, like when you first hear that, like, oh, Tipster like harassed my husband, or he sent people to harass my husband, it sounds horrible. Like, holy shit, what the fuck did Tipster do? I was watching Emily's video, one of her videos, and she had showed a video from her Shannon's husband on the screen. And so I kind of wanted to like look it up. And so I looked it up on YouTube. I couldn't find the video. I looked up the channel on YouTube, couldn't find the channel. So I did a Google search. You know how like you can do something in like parentheses and it'll show like a direct result for that? I did that with the title of the video, and I stumbled upon like the Google link, and it was still cached on Google. It still had the original channel name, which was Anthony Parker, I believe. And it showed in the description a reference to that video. And I click on it, and the video, the channel rather, it's not called Anthony Parker anymore. It's called Alan Wake. I don't know if that's a reference to the video game Alan Wake, but it's called Alan Wake, right? And all the content's gone, the banner's removed, the profile picture's removed, everything's gone. So what I did that is harassment, I noticed that the discussion tab was still enabled. So I went there and I literally typed in a comment that was something along the lines of, why did you rename the channel and remove all the content? That was it. That's what I did. That was harassment. It's crazy, I know, but like that's what I did. That she's claiming is harassment or sending harassment to her husband. And in regards to like the allegations against him, like I never stated in any of my coverage that they were like fact. I stated exactly what they were. They're allegations. We don't have proof that they're true. We don't know that they're true. We weren't, there to witness what was alleged happening. So we don't know. So all I can do is say, hey, this is the allegations that's being made. It's an allegation. And that's exactly what I reported on. So I don't get it. How she like repeatedly claims that like I reported it as fact when I didn't do that. And I don't get this allegation that I harassed her husband or sent harassment to her husband. I would never fucking do that. And it just didn't happen. Another thing I found interesting is like she's shitting on me for like my mental health in there. I don't know if you caught that, but like, I've been very public with the fact that I deal with like mental health stuff. I have severe forms of anxiety and depression. And, I have had, outbursts on social media and stuff like that related to that. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but it happens. And she's always been like super supportive of me in relation to that. So it's really weird to see her go from like when we were friends being supportive of me when I dealt with problems with my mental health, to now like she's shitting on me for it, that I'm some big crybaby who just cries about everything.
Right.
It's weird.
She kind of implies that you posted that screenshot maybe for likes on Twitter, as if you're not someone who just cries online and you're a pussy, I guess.
Yeah. So it's odd. It's odd to see somebody like, for me, this is Shannon showing her true colors. She's not really this person who gives a crap about people's mental health and who she was virtue signaling, essentially. She didn't actually give a shit about that stuff, because if she did, why is she shitting on me for it now? You know, this is the real Shannon. We're seeing the real Shannon now.
Obviously, she didn't keep this in the original video, but even in the first video, she didn't show any sort of receipts or anything you did.
No, she
to
didn't.
justify her anger towards you. Side note, you owe my husband the biggest apology. Saying you would apologize to me for reporting on the false allegations that were centered around him is like me tweeting that I would apologize to your wife for saying that you murdered my family falsely. I fully did not expect you to realize that, given how stupid your statement was. So here I am telling you, you owe my husband an apology. You owe your fans an apology, and mostly, you owe the fucking world an apology for making such repetitive, lazy content that lacks any inspiration or passion. You really should be ashamed of yourself for simply persisting on this platform. Damn.
Jeez.
That spiraled fast.
And you know, she references like me needing to apologize to her husband or whatever. Again, when I reported on the allegations against him, I made it very, very clear they were allegations. I never stated them as fact or anything like that. I think I even went as far as to say that there's not enough proof to prove it. But I made it clear they were allegations. Like I report on any other allegation. You know, I'm not stating that they're fact or whatever. I'm just saying, hey, this is what's being said. It's an allegation, and that's all we know at this moment in time. So I don't think I owe her husband an apology for reporting an allegation as an allegation. And that kind of reminds me of something that I forgot to address earlier that we heard in her statement. She was saying that she didn't accept my apology. Shannon, you weren't going to get an apology for me. When she references like, oh, I said something along the lines of if she can present evidence that debunks all this stuff, like I literally tweeted that and I sent her a screenshot of the tweet. That's my last communication with Shannon. I sent her a screenshot of that tweet on August 4th. Okay.
That's funny.
So that's why she saw it. I mean, maybe she saw it on my Twitter and actually sought it out, but I actually sent her a copy of it too. And I meant it. Like, hey, if you can show me proof that this is like BS, then hey, I'll state that it's BS. And if I've said anything that's inappropriate, I'll apologize. But Shannon, you're not getting an apology because your video didn't prove fuck all. Like literally, as I've stated many times up to this point, all your video did was show everybody that, okay, now there's enough evidence to believe that at the very least you were stalking Emily. So I don't know where you get off saying you're not accepting my apology. You're not getting one. I don't think anybody's going to give you one. What for?
Ashlee Lillie leaked my phone number and potentially more to multiple people she was sending screenshots to. So thank you for that. She's the reason I had to change my number. Big ups for her stating that wait, so okay, actually should we pause there? Like, what is this about?
She changed her number when all of us were trying to contact her who already had her number. I genuinely, she posted something about me like doxing her phone number or whatever, right?
Right.
On her Instagram story. And I went back to my video and I was like second guessing myself, like, did I accidentally do this? Like, did I accidentally send it to somebody? Did I talk about it? Did I say anything too personal? I even went through my messages with everybody. I've never, ever, and I'm not the kind of person that's like, oh, we're mutual friends. Here's this person's number. I trust you. Like, I'm not that person.
You're the reason she changed it though. Okay.
Yeah, even though she changed it whenever all of us were trying to contact her. Sure, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. That's so weird.
Okay.
What?
Yeah.
And anyways, like we didn't, I don't think any of us spoke out against her really when she changed it.
No, because she changed it as all of us started finally contacting her. Like, obviously me and you were kind of like the first ones to be like, hey, what you doing, sis?
Yeah, but I don't think you tweeted anything against her like when she changed it, is what I'm saying.
No, that was all after because it started not making any sense. And then we were all like, okay, this is this is weird, because that's when she left the group chat out of nowhere, when she started like everybody's messages started being like green text message bubbles instead of blue. So like it's got nothing to do with me.
Big ups for her stating that I was lying about being homeless when I have literally said the same thing every time. I never said I was thrown out or lived on the street. I stated I lived in my car because I had thousands in school debt from a school that I didn't graduate from because I witnessed a rape. I was super straightforward with that, but apparently Ashlee can't be fucked to actually listen when her friend is talking to her. So glad I spent my emotional energy on you. Imagine being such a prick you don't even listen to what your friend tells you, then acting betrayed because of that. Whoa.
Okay. That's not what happened, but all right. Like, that's literally not what happened. The only thing I ever said, because I never downplayed the severity or the trauma that comes with like being homeless, even if it's by personal choice. I never said that at all. The thing that was pointed out, and the only reason that I brought up like anything at all, was because other people started pointing out Anthony's own YouTube channel, where he was like making it seem like this like glorified like vagabond lifestyle that they went on to live together as this like journey with like, I don't remember if he was like he's some type of artist. I don't remember if it was like music or what. I think he was a musician or something. Yeah. But it seemed like it was just this very like artsy kind of thing that they went on to do, and he always talked about how great it was and how amazing it was. And then she would make YouTube story times about how traumatizing it was because she was forced into it, blah, 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 like all these other details.
It's normal to be like speculative, especially when you ghost people, you ghost your friends. Mm-hmm. The irrational part is that if you're getting a detail wrong and you're still friends, like why isn't she hitting you up and telling you that the correction?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like, this is unhinged.
And that's also something that like I never really talked about. Like it was like a little blip of something that I mentioned, but that's not like, how about you address the rest of my video, which is 35 minutes long, instead of like a little portion, like a couple of seconds, yeah. Because the rest of the video is things that you can't disprove.
I guess maybe it's because she's using like the emotional card, like, or something, right? Saying that she had to live in her car because of the school debt and because she didn't graduate because what she witnessed, which is just spiral.
I mean, like, fair enough, but
did you know that? She tell you any of that?
I didn't know that. No.
So okay, so that's different. It's not like you knew that she was living in her car because she was in debt with school and witnessed that.
She mentioned something before about school, but I don't remember anything about like witnessing anything. That could just be, I mean, I guess I'm just a bad friend that doesn't listen, but I usually remember too many things. It's part of the whole neurodivergent thing. Like I remember way too many.
Well, and that would be pretty memorable.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be a memorable thing.
It sounds like so far it's pretty much just what she put on her Instagram story.
Okay, well, Ashlee, guess what? You're a real class act. So glad I said you could stay with me if you ever needed a place to go because you were freaking out. Have fun continuing to suck the teeth of whoever else is gonna give you the day. Are you gonna cry now because it turns out that Emily was lying and I have proof? Or let me guess, you're gonna claim that I talked negatively about you on lolcow even though lolcow themselves have said that never happened?
When did they say that never happened?
Well, see, I'm inclined to think that maybe like some posters on there might have said that, but like, yeah. So why is she lurking still? Like she's
like what? I thought you had it on a blockchain.
Yeah, whatever happened to having the website on a blockchain, girl?
On the crypto blockchain.
Yeah.
Honestly, dude, she's so fucking stupid. Like it's one of those things where like when I first saw that she dropped a video or whatever, my first thought was I'm not watching this. I'm not looking at it. I'm not getting involved with it because like I knew that it would go this way, you know? Like I knew that it wasn't going to be any accountability, anything. I knew it was just going to be her going fucking mask off. So like now I'm at a place where I'm like, this is hilarious because of how stupid it is. Like after seeing the reception and the feedback in the comment section and like all the dislikes, I think it's at like 50,000 dislikes right now. Obviously nobody's believing her and nobody's falling for her shit, you know? So it's just kind of like hilarious at this point because I don't know how, if she does say anything that's true on like among any of the things that she's stating, we're never going to know what they are because everything else is bullshit. Like we can't trust anything she says.
She is destroying her credibility. Well, she definitely destroyed any shred of it now.
Yeah. the whole idea that like I would dox her phone number, leak it to people is just so like not something that would ever happen that it makes me question like, did I do that somewhere? Like did I mess up? But I know that I didn't. And like, oh my God, I don't know. It's
yeah. I think she's wanting to drag everybody down and guilt them in the way too.
Yeah.
So weird. Make everybody as insecure as she is.
Yeah.
You saw the video that from Shannon.
Yeah.
You know that she actually started that, or at least like it said published like in August. Like she started that draft, right?
August. Yeah.
But did you know that that was actually not the final draft of her script?
No, I did not.
Yeah, she actually went off on Tipster for a few more paragraphs than that one.
What's her deal with Tipster?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Like, every time she ever brought him up, she was always like saying that he was like the better one out of the group. So I don't.
Really?
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Wow. She also went after you, Repzilla.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
What did she say about me?
Thank you, Repzilla, for his tweet stating that I changed my number as if he didn't know why I had to. Really loved how that opened the door for some other scaly lizard to allegedly catfish others as me. Guess what? I didn't reach out to anyone. No one has my phone number because I don't trust any of you.
Wait, what?
What
is she insinuating?
Well, I guess supposedly somebody catfished her. Or catfished somebody else's her with her phone number? I don't know. Yeah,
what does that got to do with me? No wonder she didn't put this in her video. I don't have a clue why she would change her number. None of us did.
But Repzilla, that tweet saying he doesn't know why I did that is gold, especially because of the fact that he went through this with primming, something he never shuts up about. Literally, he never shuts up about primming. But A+ work, my guy. I would say don't think too hard, but you clearly haven't.
What did I go through?
Saying you went through this with primming, I guess being canceled. You were canceled, and
is she talking canceling?
But you didn't change your phone number because of primming, did you? No, you didn't.
No, nobody's got my phone number.
Yeah, so it's not really connected. I think she's just looking for like a reach to kind of slap that back to you and saying you never shut up about primming.
Yeah, well, sometimes I just like to talk about him. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know where she got that. I think that she's probably looking for anything that she can say about each of us, whether it's got any credibility to it or not. I think she's just trying to like hurt.
Trying to seek out like something.
Just looking for anything that she can. That's what it seems like to me.
Side note, if any of you dumb motherfuckers who I gave money to want to send it back my way, after making your videos saying you were horrified by my actions and always felt uncomfortable around me, do it. Talking to you, Nathan, Camellia, and Evangeline Scove, you're pathetic leeches who I helped, gave platforms to, and didn't ask for jack shit in return. Namely because I thought we were genuinely friends. I even bought Nathan his computer. How stupid am I? And you literally took someone's word that I owned CP with no evidence? I cannot believe I trusted you. I am the world's biggest idiot for that one.
Well, I thought Shannon and I were genuine friends too. I mean, we were before I even started editing, for probably over a year. And she did help me pay for my computer. It was about half, I think, that she sent me, which was very nice. And she basically said it was like a thank you for agreeing to edit for me, signing bonus, woo! Which I did initially refuse a couple times, but she sent it anyway. And I am still very grateful. It was a very nice thing to do. But yeah, I didn't, in my video, I basically talked about my relationship with Shannon, professional relationship with Shannon. And then I mostly talked about the lolcow stuff. It wasn't about the Emily Artful situation. It was more my experience.
Nothing to do with like her owning CP or anything like that, right?
Yeah. And it was only because I was pressured to by Twitter DMs, Insta, YouTube comments and all that stuff. And it was like the shortest video I could make, 6 minutes, not monetized, and then it blew out of proportion.
It comes off to me like she's trying to like guilt you for things that you didn't even say, and just making you feel bad that she helped you with a computer.
Yeah. And in regards to giving me a platform, I think I was very grateful for the opportunity to edit for Shannon. She did appear in some videos. We played Among Us a bunch together, but I don't think she made me who I am. Like, our content is vastly different. I
Right.
sit here.
Okay. Yeah, because she called you a leech. So like.
Yeah. Like, I don't have anything to. I don't make drama videos. I don't really have anything to gain from, like, even if some people from the drama watchers came to my channel, they would probably sit here and think, who's this dumbass laughing at a TikTok? This isn't my thing, and leave.
Welcome everybody to the show. All right, tonight we're gonna be talking about the original script, I guess, the original Google Doc from Creepshow art, because the one she released with her video was 91 pages, and this one just leaked, and it's 111 pages. So we got 20 extra pages that reveal perhaps how she really felt. Which, in some ways, she kind of said some of these things already, but she adds some interesting details that I think are worth noting. Now, if you haven't seen my other video, or maybe both videos on Creepshow art, I recommend checking them out. All right, the first one's called What Creepshow Art Said About Me. I remembered it, I almost went to look it up. And the other one's called, I don't remember the other one. What did I title it? Creepshow Art Proves She's a Stalker. And the reason why I called it that is because her point was to prove that she wasn't a stalker, but the way she proved that was to get screenshots and photos and all this stuff in regards to Emily Artful, who was the other YouTuber that accused Creepshow Art, Shannon, of being a stalker. She got photos of her and like posts from 2005. It's just bizarre.
Why?
You're not convincing me that you're not stalking a person when you have a picture of Emily Artful at 15 years old. This is weird. This part stood out to me because it says 99% of the evidence shown in this video is going to be from Emily's accounts, including posts from her Emily Artful YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram posts that go against what she is currently. Hey, wait, you like to read, right? Can you just read this for me?
Sure. 99% of the evidence shown in this video is going to be from Emily's accounts, including posts from her Emily Artful YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram accounts that go against what she is stating currently, that were posted before she decided to make up this narrative that I and my husband gave a hoot about her. Hoot?
Okay, well, I'm gonna pause you because I just realized you read that flawlessly, but that is a very ugly sentence. Like, what's up with all those commas? Like, that's not written well.
No, it took me. I don't know if you heard me slow down. It's because I had to go. Wait, hold on. Where is this sentence going?
Exactly. See, I can't. I haven't mastered that yet. I hate when people write bad, and then I'm like, am I dumb? But no, that is an ugly sentence. Okay, cool.
They're gnarly. There's a lot of really good ones in here. I want to be clear. All of these are publicly accessible. All of these were found by a PI I hired after she made these false claims. And all of these accounts link back to Emily through Emily's own telling. These accounts both affirm parts of her story and debunk others. And I will show them in their entirety.
So I don't know if you guys caught that, but this part is new. She never mentioned that she had hired a PI in the original video. PI, a personal investigator. Is this a revelation to anybody or what? Like, it's interesting that a PI that was hired after Emily's allegations was able to find a deleted video. It's interesting that a PI that was hired after Emily's allegations was able to take screenshots before the allegations, 2 years ago, from a Facebook account. I see someone in chat saying, did she hire herself? Like,
I was watching your video with Eva, and I could not get over it when she was like, wait, why does this say 11 years ago if it was 2009? And that blew my brain up. It's too good. Screenshots were like 2 years old.
It hurt.
11 years ago, that says on the thing for the comments. So
Wait!
like, she took this screenshot how long ago?
Like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah,
Or 4
so
maybe. I don't fucking know. I can't do math right now.
Searching through it for a while.
You're right. That's a really good point. Shannon took this screenshot. Not this year, not last year, not 2 years ago, but 3 years ago, bro.
She's held on to it.
Bro, this gets worse and worse, Shannon. Where did the document come from? Well, you gotta watch Nicholas Dior's video.
I know. I'll tell you where it came from. I'll give you the inside scoop.
All right,
Okay?
scoop.
Because this is actually worse. You're not actually gonna. I know. So I know the whole trail of where the document came
Oh
from.
shit. Okay,
I
so we're
didn't
getting
put it
this.
in the
This is in his video, guys.
Because the person who got it isn't like somebody who hides normally or isn't anonymous. It's because when they were talking about it in private, they got clipped in a manner that made it look like they were defending Shannon, and they just didn't want the heat. That's why they didn't come forward. You know who this person is. It's. I'll tell you offline.
Oh, I think
But
you've already told me.
Yeah, that person's pretty credible. But regardless, the person who it went to first, is actually extraordinarily funny. You remember back when I told you who ran the fake Creepshow art account?
You told me that?
It was like an IBS weirdo, like a crazy fucking, like Kiwi Farms, like that kind of person, like some nut job who tricked everyone, including Emily at one point, into the fact that she was Shannon. So I guess Shannon thought she had no friends left in the world. So back in August, she sent her script to this fake Creepshow art Twitter account because I guess she thought that was the last person defending her.
Oh, because they were like trolling in defense of her Shannon, right?
Isn't that the most sad fucking thing you've ever heard in your in your entire fucking life?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Recap, guys. Just in case you missed it. The person who was impersonating Creepshow, obviously pretending to be Creepshow, defending herself as a troll, okay? They got the script from Creepshow art. Because oh my god, okay. Wow. Holy shit.
Now that we know this, it's like this wasn't a fucking video that was like hastily thrown together. There's like months of time she spent looking at this fucking video, thinking that this was going to be good. But the one thing that I kind of noticed between the draft and the final copy is that in the draft, she's confident, like that this was going to change something, that she's won, she's exposed everybody, that like her career has been like reignited and she's taking out as many people as possible with her. But in the current version, I guess she's kind of doomer pilled because she comes off like, you know what, fuck it, I'm never coming back. You guys don't deserve me. I'm leaving. Forever.
Right.
So it seems like in the course of those like 4 or so months,
because
Shannon came to terms with the fact that she wasn't coming back.
In this original video, she said that she was gonna do another video talking about, I think, the lolcow stuff.
Oh, that's actually even funnier. She's talking about like a PI and finding this in a fun little time frame. And if she had this in fucking August, like she got canceled in June, she could have responded 2 months later and didn't. Isn't that kind of funny?
Somebody in chat earlier said that she waited till her channel wasn't demonetized. Now, I looked through that. I think you have to meet a certain threshold of views. I think you can go without uploading, but as long as you hit a certain...
Oh, wait, we can debunk that right now. Mr. Medicare just streamed with donations like 4 nights ago. And I know for a fact that Medicare hasn't released a video in a year. As long as there's current traffic to your videos that meets the required watch time, you're fine. Right. So Medicare hasn't posted since March 10th, 2020. He streamed with donations on New Year's, Christmas, and last week.
Yeah. There you go, guys. I know some people...
She's still monetized. She has way too many videos on her channel to get demonetized.
Exactly. And you know, I saw a lot of people kind of spreading that, and I'm like, you guys, fact check yourselves. I'm going to be going over a segment on Amy. As you guys remember, in my previous video, I showed how Shannon presented emails from Amy back in 2006. And it was confusing because originally she had said that she made up the name Amy to protect the real identity of this woman that had allegedly been harassing Shannon and actually hacked into her YouTube account and posted a glitch as a banner and did nothing else, really. Just, I guess temporarily took down her videos, but that was it, and that was it. So in this script, she elaborates a little bit further, guys, okay? And you won't believe what Amy's actual name is, okay? This part is gonna be brief. But Amy is not a reference to Emily. Amy is the name that I gave to the girl who used to harass me online, whose real name is Stephanie. Are you serious? So Amy's now Stephanie?
It's an explosive twist. I wasn't anticipating it, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, even though the emails are signed as Amy.
I thought Amy was the code name. See, so this is the thing. Amy was the code name in real life for a person named Stephanie. So the code name she used for Stephanie was Amy, which was the same code name they used when they talked to each other. What about that is confusing? I don't understand what you're not following. It makes perfect
Jesus
sense.
Christ, that hurt my brain. But
I think, no, it's absolutely messed up.
That's probably how it makes sense to Shannon. This part is actually funny though. Okay, it says, the video I put up, which is still up, has various details about Amy, or Stephanie, whatever name you want to call her. No, bitch! You fucking, wait, you made this up! You tell us what it is. See, I want to tell you tell us what her name is, but it's like, it doesn't matter what she tells us because she doesn't seem to know. Look, Amy or Stephanie? Which is it? She still says that she was harassed by this Amy person. Yet she doesn't even elaborate. Like she says, Amy is the name I chose for the girl who harassed me because she and I often talked about how we loved Amy Lee from Evanescence, but never any receipts of harassment. All the receipts are shown are like how they love each other and they're sisters, I guess.
Sarah
It was between that and
Brightman, but I
Sarah.
chose Amy, because Sarah sounds close to Shannon, and I didn't want to confuse anyone. She didn't want to confuse anyone.
How
That was the
considerate.
role?
She almost chose Sarah Brightman when she was.
Shannon.
Wait, so you're telling me that when she was making her video about how she was being harassed by someone that she used to be friends with, named Stephanie, she was either gonna name them Amy or Sarah because both her and the girl that harassed her and hacked into her YouTube account both loved Sarah Brightman. But the nickname that she gave her for her video was actually a nickname that she gave her in those emails from 2006. Okay, I'm not. Does this can you make it make sense in a confusing way again or not? It can't, right?
No, I can't.
It doesn't
that
compute
one
anymore.
It breaks at that point. It was already broken, but I don't think I can like let myself go through that for that many layers.
Okay, and I just gotta say right here, it's classic that Shannon keeps giving Emily crap about no screenshots. She just states it as fact. Girl, your defense is even worse. You're saying that
It's so much worse.
you have this weird mumbo jumbo story about Amy, and you can't provide one screenshot, even though she supposedly hacked you. Like, and that's the thing too, guys. The hacking thing supposedly that happened, it's not connected. Like, there's actually like a mountain of events. Okay, like she focuses mainly on Emily, but like before everything was that quote unquote hacking. Okay. And she just kind of like throws it away and pretend it never happened. But girl, this is something you have to answer for, and it should be the easiest thing to answer for, theoretically speaking, because you get an email saying someone hacked into your account or logged into your account from this new location.
What?
I guess so.
What am I looking at?
Yeah. Okay. Apparently, Emily used to take pictures of fat people. Okay, but what does this have to do with? Look, I don't even. What does this have to do with Shannon?
I'm sorry. Okay. So, so I have this straight. Emily took photos of fat people and
Should I
fat
scroll
shamed
back?
them on Twitter, and therefore, she was not stalked.
Well, these are some bad tweets from. Okay, look, when it's tweets beyond like 6 years ago, I think it's like whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, she said this literally 11 years ago. She says, if I wanted to cancel you as you said I did, I would have just made a video with the screenshots of you taking photos of overweight women and posting them on Twitter saying that'll do, pig, that'll do. Okay, but you proceed to do it. Number one. Number two, you said that a PI got these screenshots. So you knew about this beforehand? This just ain't adding up. If I was stalking you, I would have access and known about all these things at the time and earlier, right? According to your story, I would have already had these things, correct? The only things I quote unquote have on you, quote unquote, are the posts.
Oh my god!
Why did she write quote? Why didn't she just put the quote symbol? Let's go to the next fun part, lolcow. As you guys know, in her video, she talked about her sister, and in this one, she talked about her sister a lot more, but she does mention that she did not post about her sister on lolcow, and she says that when she can prove that, she will make a whole nother video. Now, this must be edited out because in her actual video, she said that that was her final video and she wasn't coming back. So, not to be continued, I guess. Okay, and here's the other part where she addresses lolcow. Side note, I do regret stating Amy/Stephanie had anything to do with this because this entire thing has shown me that other people have been obsessively monitoring me for a very long time. I eventually do plan on finding out the lolcow situation. However, clearly proving the allegations that I ever owned CP and married a apist were false was more important. Wait, so she's like, this entire thing, she's calling out Emily for falsely accusing her husband and herself of stuff, right? But now she's like, right. I regret falsely accusing Amy, who she says is a real person. And she accused her of hacking her, which is also a crime, to hack into someone's account and, you know, temporarily take away your YouTube channel and all that stuff. Like, and you're just going to let that fly by like it's nothing? This is dumb. Someone in chat says she apologizes to her stalker. I mean, maybe Amy/Stephanie wasn't actually her stalker. Because she says she regrets stating that she had anything to do with it. Girl, get your story straight. This is right before she ends the entire script. She says that this demand letter is so we do not have to go to court for a defamation suit, something that I would obviously win, given that Emily states she would lose a court case in her own video, and her lawyer told her not to pursue this. If she doesn't respond to the demand letter, or if she chooses to continue this online, my husband and I will be suing her for defamation and slander, seeing as she said her stalker is 100% me and my husband with no evidence. Said I at some point owned CP, and said my husband R-worded her. Only for her to use her own words to prove none of that happened. Holy shit. I almost had the whole sentence, then that was one sentence. Okay, that was too long.
You were genuinely doing a great job.
Thank you so much.
That was a mess of the sentence, not of your delivery.
She also went further on Twitter to say her evidence is concrete because I quote-unquote deleted videos, despite the fact that all those videos are saved and have no evidence on them, something I can prove in court. I can also prove that the videos were never deleted, rather I was being privacy stricken for months before any of this happened. With that, I am done. If you made it this far, that's hilarious. Now, she's saying that her videos weren't taken down by her. It just so happens that when she was being canceled, a bunch of her videos just got privacy stricken. Wow, by who? Amy? Yeah. Amy, I bet it was Amy.
Who knows, man? Or Stephanie or whoever, whatever her name is. What did Shannon say? Whatever her name is?
Well, Stephanie or almost Sarah. That was the runner-up. If Shannon were to sue her for defamation, I don't know. She wouldn't win. When was the last time you heard one of these defamation lawsuits go anywhere? To prove that you've been slandered, you have to prove damages. And personally, I don't think that Shannon was canceled and lost all his subscribers because of what Emily said. You know, I personally feel that like Shannon was canceled because of stuff like faking being hacked and the lolcow stuff. Like that's what like rubbed me dirty. You know, like I said, my coverage never claimed anything to do with CP. Throughout this entire thing, when she's yelling at people, other creators and everything, she's always saying, "You believe the CP stuff." I'm like, I mean, she doesn't call me out, by the way, okay? She doesn't, but I never touched that, and neither did the other creators that she called out for. So she's really trying to make it about something bigger that was never really the factor, you know? Like, she was being canceled before Emily came out, is what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, it's just not adding up. So I've just run a poll on my live stream, and I've asked my chat, like, why do you guys think that Shannon was canceled? Like, when you think of why she was, you know, canceled, why she hated online, what comes to mind? And I made the options be the claim that Emily said that Shannon owns her CP, or the claim that Shannon's husband R-worded Emily, or the post that Shannon did on lolcow, or how Shannon lied about being hacked or just being sketch, aka like, you know, being a stalker. And it seems that most people think that she was canceled because of the lolcow stuff, and after that they think that she was canceled for the stalking. I would say my vote would go to lolcow, and then of course like the cherry on top would be the stalking, because her new video just like, you know, put the cherry on top. It literally confirmed the stalking for most people, at least for me included. You know, that's my opinion. Maybe some people don't agree with that, but I think so. The whole thing with Shannon trying to say that she would win in court against Emily because she can prove that she is innocent of the top two claims. It doesn't matter, because defamation, you have to prove damages and that you, like, you know, you lost something, which Shannon has lost a lot. She has lost like 250,000 subscribers. Like, she had 500,000 subscribers and now she's got like 200 something subscribers. So that's pretty intense. How can you prove that when most people don't even think that? Okay, I just remembered this part is so fucking weird. It's gonna blow you guys out. I just remember when I skimmed through this originally, I saw this part. It's gonna blow you guys' minds. Get ready. If you're interested in the false allegations she put towards her past boyfriends, so she's almost doing like a lawyer approach to this, you know, because when you hear about lawsuits, the lawyers will also always like dig stuff up and stuff, which doesn't make sense. Okay, in my opinion, if she wanted to defend her husband of these allegations, okay, I feel like he should kind of speak up or share his own personal experiences, you know. Why don't we hear from him? It's kind of weird. But regardless, this is the part that I think is kind of whack. For ease of understanding, here's an infographic that I made of the actual timeline of what happened based on evidence, blah, 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 from profiles, records, blah, blah, blah. Okay, right? Okay, yeah. Bruh, look at this. You're not a stalker, though. Okay? Guys. Bruh. Okay, 2011. So Emily and Anthony date, then break up. 2012. In May, Emily dates a Carl and starts using heroin with him. August, they break up. Emily keeps using heroin. November, Emily gets clean. Dude, What? After getting clean, she met up with Anthony. Then in December, she wrote on Facebook about a stalker girl who was an underclassman in high school. And then in 2013, in February, she writes a blog about being 5 months sober. March, she writes a blog about moving in with her dad. Summer, starts posting on YouTube as Emily Sugarfruit gets harassment. June, records song with Anthony and starts on music video, has video of her in a bra shared on YouTube and Facebook. Anthony fires her. July, starts dating a quote-unquote Bob. August, goes on interview and gets a job. Facebook gets hacked. This is so weird, dude. What the hell? Imagine writing this. In October, she moved in with quote-unquote Bob. January, made another YouTube account. Preemptive apology to Emily if you feel uncomfortable. I mean, this is weird. This is strange. Okay, if you want to know Emily's like biography as told by Shannon, it's all in here apparently. If you want to know the details of the infographic, of course you have to read 111 more pages. So it's not a big deal, you know?
No. Some light reading.
This is not Stalker at all, though. I just don't know why she thought this was a good idea. And you know, something else that's interesting is the fact that in this script, in the video itself as well, she basically just disowns her sister. And it just kind of implies, the way she also talks about her ex-friends, that all she has is her husband. Like, she just isolated herself entirely. That's just so strange and like toxic. I can't imagine just like wanting to burn it all down to be with this dude that can't even defend himself, so you have to do it for him. And it's so clever because she calls Tipster a spineless coward and a pussy. Yet here she is having to speak up for her husband. I'm not saying her husband is a pussy or a spineless coward. I'm just saying, why are you doing that to Tipster? What's the word count? How do I tell?
33,533 words.
Okay. 33,533 words?
Yep. 33533.
Edwin please a sibling, not sister. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I didn't know. Okay, I apologize. I did not know that it's a different word for non-binary. I legitimately never knew that ever.
Wait, what? So Shannon's been misgendering her sibling the whole time?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's just an extra layer of shitty. Okay.
Yeah.
Also apologize. Also did not realize that.
Well, okay. Even aside from that, like I remember that's a detail from before, but I actually didn't even know that it's a different label. I did not know. So I'm actually learning. I didn't know that people that are non-binary are no longer sisters. They're now siblings, I guess.
Listen, like, I don't say this stuff to people online because it's not, I don't think it's fair to give word on somebody else's mental state, but she needs fucking help. Like, she needs serious psychological help, because this is not this is like sociopathic behavior. Like, it's really, really weird. I don't like using that term lightly because it's something that everybody's like, oh, this person's a sociopath online, whatever. But like, no, the way this girl like runs around on her own lies and just like so effortlessly lets them flow constantly, like from the start of a friendship to finish, is insane. Because she doesn't even think about how to back it up later. She just goes.
I read her Tipster part. Check this out. And then she says, even bigger ups for not only sending people to harass my husband who didn't anyone and never stalked anyone in his goddamn life, as I proved, but doing so yourself. Did those couple of likes make you feel like a real man with a big boy brain and not a spineless little coward who cries online like a pussy? You're a champion for that. So happy to have known someone who gets his little shrimp cock hard for false allegations. You're so fucking smart. nBurd would love you.
What?
Yeah, right? What the fuck?
Okay, so it's...
This is how I expected the Tipster to react, because it's like, what? Whoa, but yeah.
Like, this is literally, it's also like verbatim how she talks on lolcow. Like, this is exactly how she talks on there.
I think there's a couple people in the chat who are actually saying that's how she talks on lolcow, so. But yeah, that's it, everybody, for the interviews at least. Good job, and thank you so much for everybody that participated in that, by the way. Shout out to Tipster, Ashlee, nBurd, and Repzilla. We're gonna go over the final statement, because she didn't just shit on the people that I interviewed, all right? She shat on some more people. So let's do a little rereading and actually reflect now. I want to thank absolutely no one. So instead of thanking people, she goes off on people that she used to know, be friends with, or be associated with to some degree. Tipster's a deceased hack who literally... I feel bad reading this, dude. Tipster got like 4 different roasts. He got this roast, the one on the other Google Doc, the one on Instagram, which is slightly different as well, and the one in the video. Well, I guess one of the videos is probably the same as the first Google Doc, but damn, Tipster got freaking, oh, and he got the Instagram DM roast. Like, Tipster got freaking super roasted, man. What the fuck? All right. There's a reason everyone surpasses you. And it's because your videos lack quality, insight, and anything worth commending. Now, here's the thing. You could say that about Tipster. You could say that people surpass his content because they lack quality, insight, whatever, right? Or anything worth commending. But so did your content, and you got a lot of subscribers. So apparently that's not what people need to get viewers and subscribers, is it? So come on now. You don't need quality to make it on YouTube. You're proof. Thank you though for the post. If Creepshow art can prove that she didn't do this, I will apologize. Letting me know that if I was taking too long to prove I never owned CP. Most videos that I've seen, like on this situation, don't even mention the CP. But you guys will notice how she just like harps in on the CP. And why is that? Because that is a pretty serious allegation, right? That's pretty serious that Emily Artful made. But I haven't seen very many people repeat that or like say that she needs to prove that she didn't do it. You know, like nobody really held her to that kind of standard. I am so sorry that me proving that Emily was slandering me took too long for you. I am so sorry I wasn't able to make this video on a fun little time frame so you could add it to your 10 upload a day schedule. That must have been so hard for you that I wasn't able to hire a PI. She hired a private investigator. My ass. And final disinformation that proves my innocence in a day or two. I do not accept your apology. I will never accept your apology. You're a terrible effing person who I supported, and I hope you realize that money means a lot more to you than actually being friends with people and being decent. Because he tweeted out his reaction to your response lashing out. I think this would be a better argument, but I don't think this would prove that he was about the money, right? If he was more about the money, I guess you could say, if he really saw an opportunity in your response, he would, instead of tweeting it, because within minutes of him blocking you and getting those replies, he would have saved it and made a video about it instead of tweeting it out, okay? But by tweeting it out, he's giving other people opportunities to cover it, and other people did cover it. But like, he didn't save it for himself. He just tweeted it reacting like, what the fuck? Look what Creepshow just said, right? He put it on Twitter first. He didn't monetize his Twitter, like tweet, you know what I mean? Did those couple of likes make you feel like a real man? See, this is again, not a spineless little coward. I don't think you're in a place to call any man, right? If we're gonna be degrading men who cry on the internet, right? If we're gonna be doing that, I don't think you're in any place to do that when your man can't speak for himself. Okay, I'm sorry. If we're gonna go by traditional gender roles, where's your man's? And why is he not speaking up? He's a champion for that one, isn't he? Isn't he, Shannon? Anthony's a champion for letting you do all the heavy work, huh? Shannon, answer my question. I know she's not here. Imagine if I just pretended she's here. Come on, Shannon, chat. Come on. You used to always come to my live streams. Call me again. Come on. Give me one of those like $20 donations you used to throw me. Huh? Come on, Shannon. Oh, what's that? You're not giving people donations anymore? You're actually asking for the donations back? Oh, my bad. I'm sorry, Shannon. I'm sorry. I forgot things have changed. I forgot. Oh, I remember now. I'm looking at the script. Whoops. Things have changed. Ooh. Side note, you owe my husband the biggest apology. Saying you would apologize to me for reporting on the false allegations that were centered around him is like me tweeting that I would apologize. This is such a weird, by the way, this is such a weird thing to like read out loud. When I read it to Tipster, I was like, what am I reading? Like I would apologize to your wife for saying you murdered my entire family falsely. Like, what? Okay. All right, I guess out there, metaphor. I fully did not expect you to realize that given how stupid your statement was, so here I am telling you. You owe my husband an apology, you owe your fans an apology, and mostly, you owe the fudging world an apology for making such repetitive, lazy content that lacks any inspiration or passion. When I read it properly to Tipster, I was doing her a favor. Right now, I'm gonna read it how it is. Inspiration. Sorry. Inspiration. You really should be ashamed of yourself for simply persisting on this platform. Mega bitch. That's all I can say to that. Ashlee licked my phone number. And by the way, guys, her biggest criticism against Emily is that Emily doesn't have proof. Emily doesn't have screenshots. She doesn't have anything to back it up. Dude, she doesn't have screenshots for anything she says here. The stuff she's saying right here about Ashlee, she says it almost verbatim in her Instagram story. Like, guys, I didn't even know this until yesterday, but her entire video, or almost the entire video, is on her Instagram story. Like, formatted for Instagram is what I'm saying. Like, she's not just like screen recording her video and putting it on Instagram. She literally formatted it for Instagram. I can show you guys this. Okay, I might as well just show you guys. It's weird. If I didn't know this till yesterday, I'm sure other people didn't either. She made her video for Instagram story format. Like she typed this. She rewrote her script The entire thing. Yeah, I know. This is formatted for Instagram. She even included the dudes that were reviewing Emily Artful's bathtub anime review.
Is in a bathtub naked. I'm not even gonna tell you who it is for one. I don't know who it is. I didn't even look at the YouTube name.
She actually fast forwarded it in this one though, which she should have done for actual video. I don't know why she didn't, but this is just so weird. Screw Ashlee Lillie for doxing my phone number. Also, F you for saying a lot about being homeless because I chose to rather than accrue debt. As if I didn't do 3 videos, blah, blah, blah. It's like, this sounds just like the stuff in the original draft. Anyway, I just want to kind of go over that real quick. Thank you, Repzilla, for his tweet stating that I changed my phone number as if he didn't know why I had to. Okay, also, I do want to make sure I emphasize here. She literally changed her phone number the day after we found out that it was basically her. If you guys remember my original video, I brought it to the group chat. I was like, hey Shannon, have a look at this. Like, look, somebody sent me a DM saying that you're posting about me being closet gay, what? And then I said, weird that they'd assume you're on an anonymous forum in the first place. I said that to her. Unless, dun dun dun. And then the next day is when she donated to me like $100 on Patreon, right? And then everything like started piling up with the lolcow. I started looking at everything and I was like, what's going on? And I think that same day, like the next day or the day after, she changed her phone number. So none of her, not me, not Tamimi, not Repzilla, not Ashlee posted anything publicly. You know, we didn't post anything. I mean, I didn't post for a little while because I was on social media, but they didn't post anything for like a little while. You know, because we were still trying to get a hold of her, and then we realized she changed her phone number. But like to say that she changed her phone number and we all knew, Repzilla knew why she did that is weird. And also this part about like Repzilla announcing that Shannon changed her phone number opened up the door for some other scaly lizard to allegedly catfish others as me. Chat, is she trying to say that like somebody else just happened to get her phone number and pretend they were Shannon and like mess with people? Because I'm sorry, what are the odds of that? Like what? Like imagine, and how that doesn't make any sense. Because like, first of all, if Ashlee doxed Shannon, then her old phone number would be common knowledge. Like someone could easily find it, right? Not only that, but whoever is impersonating her would have to text people that were familiar with her old phone number. Okay, Chad is saying that is what she's saying. It's nonsensical. It's nonsensical. Did anybody ever hear about somebody impersonating Shannon's phone number? Because the way she says that some other scaly lizard allegedly catfish others, like, is she creating an allegation out of thin air? Or is she saying a hypothetical where somebody allegedly catfishes? Because this doesn't make any sense. Like, if you're creating a hypothetical, why would you add the word allegedly in there? People impersonating on Twitter, yeah, of course, I seen some of that. But this is what she's saying here is that because Repzilla announced that Shannon changed her phone number, it opened the door for another scaly lizard to allegedly catfish others. Someone in chat says, another accusation from Shannon with no proof. Ah, interesting. Yeah, isn't that like her spearhead against Emily? Yeah, it's a recurring theme, huh? The way she's going down is literally like burn it all. Like, because there's an aspect of her that's kind of playing victim. So you would think a victim isn't gonna fucking try to shit on all her friends. And just a massive thanks to everyone who promoted this falsehood that could be disproven if you scrolled back on her Instagram. You're all amazing friends. I can't believe I give a fuck about any of you. Especially Petty Page, Dustin Daly, and the viewer's voice. I know what all of you did last summer. I know what all of you did at the drama channel Christmas party a couple years ago. I know who you did it to too. And I would not utter another syllable in my direction if you knew what was good for you. That is to say, delete your videos and considering retiring. You provide the same terrible opinions based on nothing anyway. Oh shoot, homegirl threatening. Side note, if any of you dumb motherfuckers who I gave money to want to send it back my way after making your videos saying you're horrified by my actions and always felt uncomfortable around me, do it. Talking to you, Nathan, Camellia, and Evangelina Scove, you were pathetic leeches who I helped, gave platforms to, and didn't ask jack shit in return. Namely because I thought we were genuinely friends. Girl, genuine friends don't do what you do. Like, you just ghosted everybody. You literally took someone's word that I own CP with no evidence. Now again, like we heard Nathan, he didn't mention anything about CP. And I want to emphasize, she didn't buy him the entire computer. She only helped him pay for half. And it was supposed to be like a bonus for helping her edit her videos. Also, Skittlz Juice, the girl who made my icon, you owe $500. I commissioned you for a new channel avatar. I sent you $250 twice because you said you didn't get the first time and you never fucking did the work. Give me my fucking $500, you fucking scam artist. After hearing what Shannon said about her, Skittlz Juice responded on Twitter and stated that Shannon paid her $250, which is more than she's ever charged. However, she insists that Shannon did not send the money twice. She says that Shannon acknowledged that she sent the money to someone else and joked how they got a bonus on accident. How funny if she was talking about nBurd in this. Anyway, Skittlz Juice also includes a screenshot showing Shannon's payments, which includes payments for a previous commission that you might have already seen in other thumbnails and videos about Creepshow. She admits fault for not being able to get to Shannon's commission due to heavy workload, but also points out that just as she was gonna get to it, Shannon was outed and deleted all of her social media. Homegirl even made a statement about this back in June, basically stating that she was unsure of what to do about this since Shannon was MIA and suddenly cancelled. She went on to say, if she wants a refund of $250, not $500, I'm still waiting for her to contact me. If she wants me to draw something else in exchange for the $250, she's more than welcome, but again, Shannon, you have to approach me. The entire time we spoke, we were friendly. We joked about Taco Bell and we sent each other supportive words of encouragement. You told me this payment was because you wanted to support artists. And now I'm a scammer apparently for having all contact cut from me? I had no part in any of this. I'm being dragged through the fucking mud in some attempt to deflect anything away from you. You try to ruin my livelihood, my reputation, and expect me to pay you $500? I'm baffled. To be honest, I feel I don't owe you shit, but still, my offer is there. Alright, so we got more proof that Shannon ain't got her head straight. Alright, now back to the live stream. It should also be noted that I was not posting on any social media websites while putting this video together. There have been multiple accounts both claiming to be me and multiple accounts that Emily has erroneously stated are me without proof. In fact, if any person told Emily at a certain point that they didn't believe her story, she would claim it's me or my husband. The only time I posted on social media was to tell Tipster to fuck up. Specifically because he commented on my husband's defunct YouTube channel because he's a spineless coward. Okay girl, jeez. Any chance she can get to Tipster. The day this video goes live, I will have sent a demand letter to Emily showing all the proof listed here and even more. Things I have kept out of this document because they were either too sensitive or simply didn't fit into this video. And this video is already pared down and is 112 pages. The demand letter is so we do not have to go to court for a defamation suit, something that I would obviously win, given that Emily states she would lose the court case in her own video, and her lawyer told her not to pursue this. If she doesn't respond to the demand letter, or if she chooses to continue this online, my husband and I will be suing her for defamation and slander. Seeing as she said her stalker is 100% me, and my husband with no evidence, said I at some point owned CP, and said my husband R-worded her, only for me to use her own words to prove that none of those things happened. She also went on Twitter to say that her evidence is concrete because I quote-unquote deleted videos, despite the fact that all those videos are saved and have no evidence on them, something I can prove in court. I can also prove that the videos were never deleted, rather I was being privacy stricken for months before any of this happened. With that, I am done. If you've made it this far, that's hilarious. Okay, we got it, guys. We made it this far. I mean, we skipped most of the big chunk, but Jesus fuck, I'm exhausted. Here's the last thing I will say about her, like, crapping on Tipster specifically, right? What does she expect? Tipster is a commentary channel. She was a commentary channel. So, like, what? What, are you supposed to ignore this? Because not only Tipster, but literally everybody was being pressured to talk about it, and even without that, friend or not, people have to cover things and be fair. And especially when she didn't reach out to anybody, she didn't even bother giving her side to her friends, then what does she expect? Like, dude, you're in the commentary realm. When she was on YouTube, she was obviously doing commentary, and she did it like unapologetically. Sometimes she went after other creators and stuff. So like, why is she being so sour about this? None of it really makes sense. I think that's it for my speeches, guys. Thanks for watching. Next time on Homeboy's Got Receipts, Petty Page calls into the show.
I saw that you were streaming a few hours back, and then I came back and you were still streaming. And then I was just kind of like, no, fuck that guy, immediately.
Be sure to subscribe with notifications so you don't miss an upload. And don't forget to thumbs up the video, guys. Come on now.